Welcome, listener, to special edition of Gettin to Market. We did this a little while ago, and we're starting to do this kind of as a regular segment we're experimenting with, where one of us will tell the other one about a thing we like and really try to sell the other person on getting started with that thing. So last time, Nate talked about overpriced flashlights. Is actually kind of sweet. I did look at them. I don't think I ever followed up on that with you, where I was like, all right, I'm going to check these flashlights
I meant to show
out.
it to you when we were in person. I should have shown them to you so you could actually see what it was like.
Did you bring it like Batman? You had a couple? You had both? All right. So right now we work on doing a lot of data and kind of collection of data around finances, and that's really helpful. I am also a bit of a weird personal finance nerd. Maybe, did you know that? Did you know that I'm like Fat Fire, all of that sort of just kind of, there's like a whole thing.
You're over 40. You can't fire now.
But you are fat. No, yeah, it's just like those principles. I'm not anywhere near that by any stretch of the imagination. But just those things I got really interested in. And a while ago, I was a Dave Ramsey person, and then I stopped being a Dave Ramsey person because I found You Need a Budget, YNAB. And I shouldn't say I found it. My wife found it and got us moving to it.
You were the only ones. You're the only people that know about this thing.
We found it. Interestingly enough, I got in deep. I might be a bit of an addict, so there's a couple of things we can talk about in that. But there's a podcast, and I listened to that. It's really, really interesting. Just kind of the founder's ethos around money is really, really interesting. So
can I pause right for a second? Which is, I know a little bit about You Need a Budget, not a ton, and I know a little bit about Dave Ramsey. Was any part of why you moved off of Dave Ramsey tied to kind of like his philosophy around finances or the app, or was it just you liked this better?
Both. I'll get to that. So if you don't know, You Need a Budget is a personal budgeting app, personal finance app. You can track all your finances. So the stuff that made me move, or the stuff that got me excited, I think it's $120 a year, maybe something like that. It's to the point where I don't even think about it because it's that big of a deal to me.
Shouldn't you think about it because it's part of your budget? Or no?
Yeah, sure. That's fair.
All right. Go ahead.
Go look at your flashlight for a little while. The stuff that's the basics, I won't really get into, but obviously you can connect up to your banks, you can connect up to multiple accounts, you can track your overall net worth, all that sort of stuff. So that stuff we won't get into all that much. But some of the things that I really like, I can kind of show in here, and I've actually got my screen. So I'll just share it.
Sell me on it.
Sell you on it. So You Need a Budget. This is what it looks like. This is on my device.
120 seems kind of steep. So
far you're there. Says the guy
flashlight
who's
seems
buying
like a better deal.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just
Well,
gonna say that.
$30 flashlights. Right. So this is, and actually that's funny that shows that up there. You could be the friend that I share YNAB with. So a couple things just on the ethos, kind of that's one of the differences. So Ramsey, no credit cards, no debt ever, that sort of thing. YNAB has a slightly different mindset, which is not necessarily no debt, but know where your spending is, give every dollar a name, every dollar a purpose, put it all to work, like different phrases that they've said. So they're less anti-credit card, which is helpful. And they give tools inside of YNAB to track that. So you can see this is just like the basic categorization, nothing too crazy. This is legit everything I spend all my money on. In case you're wondering, blow money is not nose candy. Blow money is a Dave Ramsey rollover thing. So if anyone's a Dave Ramsey person, that's just like, you got to set aside money in your budget with your partner if you're alone, just a blow on whatever. That's what that is. Okay. So,
gotcha.
But eating out, that's where you were making fun of me for different stuff. Different stuff that we give, different stuff that we do, all that's inside. So very much the basics, all is fighting good. The stuff that I really like about it, one is the mindset. So where tools like Every Dollar are different, that's the Dave Ramsey solution now, is you set your amount of money and then every month you reset it. One of the things that I really like about YNAB is that their overall goal, like Ramsey's got the baby steps, YNAB has get a month ahead. And so where this is kind of a different mindset and a different approach is that it feels more rewarding. It's an emotionally more rewarding tool for me because let's say, like I set aside $200 a month for eating out, going out to dates, whatever we might want to do. If I only spend $150, then the next month I have $50. I start with something and then I can go on from there. And so you can immediately month over month see the benefits of your choices to not overspend in a specific category because it directly shows up. And so just for me, that's been really helpful just to like, if you're kind of going out, do I want that? Actually, no, I don't really want that. I'd rather get ahead. And so it feels very rewarding in that way, just to kind of get the overall benefits. You can create multiple budgets. And so when you start kind of, financial modeling, so to speak, you can build out different budgets for different things. So ours has been the same. You can see kind of back through all of time. Ours is pretty much the same through everything, but some interesting stuff that's in here is like hidden categories. So we were saving for a car. We wanted to put aside a set of money. So last month we actually saved the amount of money that we wanted and put that in there. So you can hide it and then change a new budget, create a whole new structure for how and what you spend your money, setting new targets month over month. I just haven't done it yet. So there's a little bit of laziness on my part.
What car are you going to get?
That's a great question. I don't know. If anyone out there has a car that feeds six.
You just cut that car up 6 ways. Yeah.
You just cut it up. If it fits 6 people comfortably and is electric, I'd be into that. But it also can't be $100,000, which apparently is really hard. Those are all overlapping. Yeah, that's hard to do. So anyway, we don't know what we're going to get, but we just set aside money for that. So really like just the mindset and then the additional budgets, especially as you kind of cross off things that you wanted to do. Now you can start creating new budgets, putting different money aside, finding different things that you want to do and building toward that. And I really like that. The other part that I like, just like there's the basics of the spending breakdown. So this is of this month. This feels very normal, very kind of regular, nothing too crazy in here for how much, we're eating and or going out and kind of the breakdowns of different stuff month over month. That's really helpful. But just seeing all of that directly connected is really good, especially with your overall net worth. All of these trending data just being together. This age of money is the one that I really like a lot too. But this is up and to the right is good with most charts, but the overall idea with the kind of the ethos difference between other tools and what they're doing at YNAB and what I like about it is you're just trying to get your money to sit around for longer, which is a funny way of saying save your money, but it's putting it against days that it's sitting there. So your age of money is how many days out you are based on your spending. And so we're more than a month out right now, which means I've already paid off all the bills that we have from a savings perspective that will come in the next month after this and trying to grow that. I don't know why they chose 30 days. It might, maybe I think we're at like 38 days or something like that. Do you need to go to 60? I don't know. That's a little bit weird. That's a little bit crazy, could be. But anyway, you kind of get to make some of those choices, and I really like that. The last thing that's just interesting, I said I wouldn't talk about the accounts, but just around the ethos, and I think that's really helpful and why I like you need a budget better than other things we've tried. I mentioned you can track your net worth, kind of look at that. So this is like all kinds of different stuff all built into that. One of the things that I learned from the podcast that they have, I'll stop sharing this as it's going, but is that instead of having an automated connection out to whatever investment accounts you might have or other ways that you're saving money, they encourage you to manually enter in all of your data on a monthly basis. I bet if they could have their way, they tell everybody, do that for all your transactions because each thing you spend becomes more emotional. You can kind of see some of the trends, but that feels unrealistic. So they're doing that still, though. You can connect up to it, but at least in the podcast, the encouragement was do all of that manually. And the reason you do it manually is because if it's of your investments or different stuff, like if you're saving for whatever, and you're just seeing that on a daily basis, you might not get the feel of what's going up and down and kind of making decisions, but manually putting in whatever's happening, that'll help you make better decisions for what's going on, what you might want to do. So it's an interesting point of granular isn't always better. And when it comes to your personal finances, actually taking a manual approach and having a bit of a higher view will help you make better decisions long term with what to do with your money. And I thought that was really good and really helpful. And
let me ask you, clothing. Yeah, I saw you had a category for clothing. Mm-hmm. As someone with young kids, like you're buying clothing fairly regularly, but not every month. So how does it track or how are you tracking this month we didn't buy anything, but the budget set aside was whatever dollars. And then this month we had to buy a whole bunch of clothing. How does it kind of track, or how do you track? What's the helpful way to keep track of that?
I'm trying to see if this will show it in here as we're doing it. The general idea that you can do with YNAB is with each category that you have, you can set different types of goals. So you can say, I want to put, for us for clothing, $100 a month away to save for clothes for the kids. Doesn't mean you have to spend it, but it only turns green in the colors when you set aside that. And so that's the target. You could also have another one like that was the new car for us. You want to have $10,000 for a car over, whatever. You could say over a time frame. You could say just period. I don't even care. I just want to put a little away for over time. So it's got some of that granularity to let you, kind of say, what does good look like at the end of this month for that category? And clothing for us is a certain amount of money dollars a month every month towards that. And then it's really every quarter we got to buy. Our kids are young, similar to you. Like we got a couple $100. All right, let's go get some shirts and jeans.
Where does the money go? Like, what do you mean put it away? Like, what does that mean for you in practice?
It's in a checking account. Everything's in the checking account. So really, YNAB just sits on top of the checking account. And
but it's not actually like in a savings account for those
correct.
specific, group of categories or whatever.
Yeah. Some stuff we do. This is where you can get real down a deep rabbit hole with YNABers and different, do you put in this? Do you put in this account? Do you do one account? Do you separate accounts? Do you do a savings account? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Some of the bigger things we're saving for, we put in a savings account and that just sits there.
Okay. So if you're if you were, say, someone that had impulse control around actually keeping that money aside, how would you manage it? Hypothetically.
Yeah. What do you mean? How would I manage?
How would you kind of manage actually keeping that? You have this $200 you want to spend on kids' clothing. You want to make sure you don't burn through that on, I don't know, your $100,000 truck or whatever. How do you keep that money safe from the truck?
When you separate it all out. So when in the balances that it shows, it's almost like a general ledger, honestly enough. But when each of the categories, when they have that dollar amount, everything you spend goes into that category. So if I spend $50 on clothes out of the truck fund, I gotta, the truck will go negative. Or maybe that's what's a better example? Going out to eat, if I overblow that budget for that amount, it'll go negative as long as I categorize it correctly. And then at the end of the month, I got to figure out where's that coming from. And if you use a credit card, it'll actually say you're overspending, you're carrying a balance on your credit card. We don't carry a balance on our credit card any month. We just pay it off and kind of use it for different stuff. But it'll help you police it as long as you categorize it correctly. I could fake it and hide a bike purchase for my wife by splitting it up into 5 categories or whatever, hypothetically in this hypothetical world. But yeah, you can do
it. The other question I was going to ask you was, give me some examples of where it's changed how you've spent your money or thought about what you want to prioritize.
Looking at the spending habits month over month is really helpful. I gotta not go out to eat for a little while. Going out to eat like everybody is probably one of my bigger,
but it's so handy and convenient.
I just really enjoy it. So there's a little bit of that, just you kind of see what you did. And we're pretty diligent about putting things in the correct category. I'll split Amazon purchases into multiples, if I buy. So you can get as granular as you want, but that's one example where just looking at what's going on and being am I good with that? Is that good? Am I, happy that I have to spend? This is where electric car comes in. We spend about $500 a month on gas just in driving around and doing stuff.
$500 a month in gas.
Yeah.
Wow.
We put 30,000 miles a year on our car, just driving around kind of doing stuff. So part of that is just awareness of I'm not mad about it. It just is what it is. I am mad about it, but, it just is what it is. So I think that stuff is helpful. And it's changed my spending habits in that way. And also the blow money thing is really helpful for us.
Who gets more blow money, you or your wife?
Equal. Sorry, I meant me. We miscellaneous is the hardest category, and it's a big one because it's how much time do we want to spend putting Target stuff for random, I was out on that side of town, so I got this other thing while I was out. So that, those sorts of things are a bit of a pain in the butt, and you can over-administer yourself to death. So we dump some money into that just to not have to think about it, which is nice.
So I'll give you my example for this. But I'm curious how it works. So I would have I think largely no problem. We're my wife and I are vegetarian. I'd have no issue really like going vegan, but
Hmm.
she has no interest in that.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, like it would just be such a giant pain that it's not really worth it for me to try to do that. How much of a pain would you need to budget be or every dollar if your partner wasn't as committed to that, to using the app and that sort of thing?
I think it's a huge pain.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know is the short answer because we've both been into it and just like the overall idea of like, hey, we should keep an eye on this or kind of do different stuff. Advantages that we have, we've always done single bank accounts. We've shared money since we got married. Actually, before we got married, her car died and got my car, and I didn't have a car, and we combined bank accounts, which I was not employed at the time, so that worked out in my favor, I think. But either way, we've always been shared bank accounts, and have always been pretty interested
Sounds
in
illegal,
budgeting.
but okay.
It is. So I think that stuff is, if you're not into it and you're trying to share this with somebody, and especially when you're like, hey, hun, guess what? You spent too much on whatever. That ain't gonna go well. So yeah, that stuff is kind of.
Because you'd have to do all the logging, right? Like you would have to
Mm-hmm.
be if you were the one that cared and the other person
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't as invested in it. Other than
Mm-hmm.
from maybe an outcome perspective, like you'd have to manually do all the
Yeah,
reconciling, right?
this is. You've kind of got me thinking about other ways that I've kind of found the app being helpful. So I still do all the logging because I'm kind of into it, and I like doing it. But because I'm a control freak. No. But there's like this overall, I don't know if you've heard about, like, there's the theory that, like, the reason why credit cards are helpful, it's basically like a convenience thing. So it's so simple that you can buy and you just don't feel it at all. So who cares? So we were talking, and I was like, we should stop using a credit card, just see what happens. And we legit, like, we saw the money go down. We didn't do anything else. It was just like, let's keep the credit card at home, change Apple Pay to use our debit card and use that and just see what happens. We saw what areas we were more apt to use a credit card to buy stuff than anything. Just that. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So like the $120 a month, is it worth it? I don't know. Or not a month, $120 a month, $120 a year. I bet we save that annually just in awareness by a
Yeah.
large margin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's good app. I don't know if I positioned it how they would. They're gonna
Who cares?
no one's gonna watch this now.
This is not a sponsored video. Nobody cares.
Yep, it's not a sponsored video.
Yeah. So how does this compare? It sounds like you used every dollar before ED. Is that what ED stands for? Every dollar?
I think so. Speaking of
those
overlapping
ads are very
circles,
confusing. Okay,
they're
go
very
ahead.
confusing. So I never used every dollar, but I was using the
Okay.
system. So
The system.
I stopped being a Dave Ramsey acolyte before every dollar came out. Interestingly enough, he's got a book called EntreLeadership, like entrepreneur and leadership put together, and does a conference. And I went to it. It was great. It was really good, really well done. They did a really good job.
Yeah. Just rolls right
and
off the tongue.
Yeah. And at that, they did a bunch of user testing of the app. They're like, hey, we want to get this app done. We want to get and I remember voting on the logo. And so like the logo that's there now was voted on. I mean, I'm sure they did it at 5 or 6 of them, but yeah.
No, it was just your vote that made it happen. So you should feel
did.
really good about that. Yeah.
At that event, I got my picture taken with Dave Ramsey in his office. Which is only funny because I was like, what am I even going to do with this? Like, it's just a weird thing. Like, it was cool and it was nice. Like, it was this big event and it was really great. And they really did a good job putting the event on. But there's this picture of me with Dave Ramsey. And so one of my friends for Christmas, I framed it and wrapped it and gave it to him. So he opened up. I don't know what he did with it, but anyway, it's good.
Yeah. We will need to include that. We'll have to insert that in here.
Yep. I'll find it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if I sold you on using a personal budgeting app. Maybe, do you use something already? That would have been a good salesperson thing to ask. What do you do today? How do you solve this problem today?
I think I downloaded both of them for like a little bit. I don't really love connecting bank accounts to other apps. It just doesn't seem like the best from a operational security perspective. But yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea. It does sound like what you just described just sounds exhausting and like, I don't know, like a lot of work. I should
find out. Do you know how many transactions you have a month?
God, I don't know. I have no idea. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I bet we do 10 or 12 a day, probably more than that.
Dude, that seems
Categorizing that
high.
many.
Really? 10 or 12 a
I feel
day?
like I feel like that's low. Check yours out,
It's
dude.
just like 4 of them are gas?
Check you look, do a
All right, I'll
follow up,
look.
find out. I'm really curious now. This did bring up a really interesting conversation. You can export all of your Amazon purchase history for all of time. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder how much money total I've spent on Amazon. Which
no, I don't want to know that. Yeah, I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I with a group of friends, like, we have a group of friends, and both he and I and our wives are friends, and we all get along, and it's just like the rare couple
You got
of
friends. Brag.
We got friends.
Move on.
Yeah, move on. So it got awkward because I brought up this, and then they also looked at theirs, and our numbers were very different. And it was like, we were all processing this together. And I was like, oh, this is actually much more personal than I meant it to be. Whoopsie daisies.
Who had more?
They did by like 10x. It was a
10x.
It was a lot. But they use it like, instead of grocery shopping, instead of like, their miscellaneous category would be all Amazon. So they just get like toilet paper, like all that household good type stuff gets delivered. So I was going to ask like, yeah, but is that it? And then I was like, nope, just let it be. Let it go. So yeah. Ours was less than I thought. And I think we're not as bad as I expected. In a good way.
I mean, but does Amazon even do fast shipping to where you live in the holler? So
they do.
I mean, it's just a person trucking up a hill with a cart. Yeah. A wheelbarrow.
I just learned that we've been using my friend's Amazon Prime since Prime got launched. And I got an email without paying for it. And I got an email the other day that's like, hey, dude, you're done now. and I legit was like, I don't know if I'm going to buy it. I might not. We'll see.
Oh.
Can you imagine a world without Amazon Prime at your house? Like, this is good. This is a really interesting idea of like purposeful friction.
Purposeful friction. Well, so we do. I have done this a little bit, which is like sometimes you can get stuff off Target. Oh, yeah. You just had like a weird hand thing there. And Target also will do like 2-day shipping. And it is pretty frictionless, a lot less to choose from. So like, I don't know if you do this for your kids' clothes, but like Target's where we get a lot of the kids' clothes from. They actually hold up pretty well for as cheap as they are. I'm sure they're not like ethically made or whatever, but it's close. It's not like that far off from the Amazon experience in that respect. I think the thing is like breadth. Like there's just some stuff that like going out here's my anti-pitch to that. Setting aside whatever else you want to say about Amazon is you're giving out your credit card and personal information to a bunch of other vendors if you still need to buy those things from individual like shops and stuff.
Yep.
And there might be a little more risk in how they manage their site security and all that stuff. And I mean, heaven forbid Amazon ever gets breached or whatever and all that shit. Like that would be not good. But there is a consolidating those purchases to like one account on one website might be a little safer, less more secure. I don't know, but it's a lot. Like I mean, and how spread out our personal information is all over the web with all these places that we go to and shop and spend money. Like I don't know, there might be a value in just Amazon being a helpful way to have one marketplace or whatever.
Yeah. That I didn't go that tinfoil hatty, but I think the reason why I will likely buy Prime is because like the number of things that I buy, because it's easier to order it and it shows up at the house and it's cheaper than me driving to go get it. Right. Lowe's is 20 minutes from my house. So like, this is like the other day I was like, I need wood glue, like building the thing. I need some wood glue. I could either go to the store and get it and spend whatever, we'll say $4 driving in gas back and forth. Or I can just hit a button and those clowns bring it here in 2 days. And I don't need to do it tomorrow. Like I'll just do this project in 2 days. And that's what I did. Like those types of things happen more often than not. I'll just wait. It's fine.
Devil's advocate though, could you not just like get wood glue at Ingles? Ingles is a regional grocery store there. Like they must have wood glue, right?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like but like when you're already out and about, if you can wait for it, like why not just do it when you're already out.
Yeah, so it's a weak argument is what you're saying.
Doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah, I don't know. Glad you had someone, drive round and round a mountain so they could bring you $4 of wood glue.
Yeah, I do. And I should look against my order history. I stopped doing the overnight delivery because it creeps me out and because I feel bad for those folks. But you are also maybe the first person to ever say, go to Ingles to get it cheaper, which is a really helpful thing. So that's nice.
Ingles is cheap. Like, not a great grocery store, but it is cheap.
No, you're wrong.
What grocery store is cheaper than Ingles?
Well, Aldi, for one, which is...
Yeah, all right. Aldi, but you can't get everything at Aldi.
Right, same thing. Maybe you don't need everything, Maybe enough is enough with that. We're big Aldi shoppers. We don't go to Ingles.
Our podcast comes out every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts. We have a Substack. You can view other stuff on our channel as well. I'm Nate. This is John.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye. Wait, are you going to buy it? Are you going to do it?
I don't think so. That's expensive. I don't know. I might buy it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.